All right, everybody, this will be a warning to all politicians. I'm running for president 2024, 107, Part H. Just looking at some recent things here in the news. Some officers shot down in Los Angeles, in Compton, I believe. Some statements by Joe Biden about how it's Trump who's divided and how violence in the streets is unacceptable and stuff. And it's like, really? You haven't said anything this whole time. The Democratic Party's been supporting what's going on. Tucker Carlson had a lady on from it was either Black Lives Matter or Antifa, I forget, but she was going on about how they have the right to protect their community, etc., from people doing it harm and this and that, meaning the police who are arresting criminals and who are the ones who have been shot, but criminals. And it's funny they allow them or try to push that. It's like hocus pocus. The narrative that they push and the commercials that they show. Hocus pocus is really the commercials that they show. If you watch football this weekend, where all these athletes are in mostly taxpayer-funded stadiums, they always seem to get some kind of tax hike or something, or some bond issue passed to where the people of the state, I know in Arizona anyhow, the Cardinals wouldn't have the stadium they have if they didn't. I'm not sure. I believe where the Diamondbacks play also had some public funding. These athletes wouldn't have the big salaries they have if the owners had to pay for those stadiums, or the corporations and stuff had to pay for them themselves. I don't think it's just really ironic that they come out and denounce everybody. And but the commercials BLM ran, I mean, you would think they're just out there, rescuing homeless people off the streets and feeding people and this and that, and they didn't show no burning, they didn't show no people getting smashed in the head with bricks, they didn't show all the stuff that's actually going on. It was a lovey-dovey, feel-good commercial that was so far from the truth it isn't funny. It was hocus pocus. And it disgusted me. I had to turn off. Between the Biden commercials denouncing Trump, saying he's the reason dividing the country, and between the BLM commercials, I couldn't take it anymore. And especially, and then the athlete promos where they're talking about, it's about coming together and all this and everything. Really? Burning and looting, smashing people in the head with bricks, going through neighborhoods with megaphones, waking people up in the middle of the night, and probably arson, setting these fires in the woods and stuff, because as much as they want to scream global warming and everything, if you look right now, Mexico's west coast doesn't have any fires going. Canada doesn't have any going up there in Vancouver, in that area. So where are these taking place? Well, the people of Oregon took a stand against Antifa and Chaz and all that kind of stuff finally. Not the governors or the politicians, but a lot of people stood up going to counter-protest these people. And all of a sudden, woods are on fire. Now, Oregon, if you don't know it, is a prime timber state. Most of the people make their livings something to do with the timber industry, or ranching or farming, stuff like that, which goes hand in hand with Hey, it's all right for the protesters to run around without masks, be close, all that kind of stuff. It's all right for the athletes to be on the field, being close and everything. It's all right for big corporations, Walmart, Home Depot, several others. I mean, you name it, they're open, the grocery chains. But if you're a small business owner who is primarily going to be Republican conservative and who voted for Trump, and especially in the states that flipped for Trump, they're cracking down on you. So, to me, it's like they declared open season on Republican or even independent conservatives who rejected their leftist policies and flipped and went the other way. It's kind of like a jealous girlfriend type thing. How dare you reject, or not even jealous, fatal attraction thing. How dare you reject them? They're going to make you pay for rejecting them. The crazy ex-girlfriend, the Democratic Party. They're going to make you pay for rejecting them and choosing Donald Trump. They can't stand it. They are jealous of Donald Trump. That's why they can't stand him. They're like the jealous ex-girlfriend, crazy ex-girlfriend, is going to make you pay out of their rage and jealousy over who you chose instead of them. So it was just a weekend of hocus pocus and all that. Got fed up. But you see these shootings, you know, you're not gonna see that in a BLM commercial. Somebody shooting a couple officers sitting in their patrol car, doing their job, out making secure. They have a presence on the streets, keeping people safe. You know, you got all these people saying defund the police, and they don't, you know, they consider the police an enemy, that they're protecting their communities from the police. On one hand, you almost want to say, you know what, just yank them out of those communities. Go ahead. Just let that community just go to, you know, naturally progress, I guess is what they want it to do. Not conform to the, or unnaturally progress. Not have it conform to the laws of the country, the state, or the, you know, cities. They just get to live their lives however the hell they want to. No police. Just, you know, go ahead. Let them degenerate into just like that Chaz thing did up there. You know, they want to wall it off, and they're going to have their good luck. You know what? They want to do that, but then they would want your money, your tax dollars, because they're not going to be able to run businesses that are going to make money. So even if they had taken over all of Portland, blocked it all off, they would want their unemployment and welfare checks right now, wouldn't they? They would want some kind of federal funding or donations through BLM and all that that would only last so long. There's no businesses in their right minds who would go in there. No business owners who would try and stay in there. You know, so they would do a wall like the communists did to hold people in and keep those businesses in there. So if you're an American and you haven't woken up to this, if you haven't looked at everything objectively and said, what the hell are these people doing? What they're doing makes no sense. If you haven't waken up to the fact that they're following a Marxist, you know, ideology, and you know, these politicians keep pandering for socialist policies and got to give everybody everything that they demand, even if they're not citizens of the country. You have to take it easy on criminals. All this kind of stuff. Anthony Brian Logan just did a story about a guy who was out and attacked some people with a knife, stabbed several people, whatever. He had been arrested before and stabbed people, assaulted people with a knife anyhow, and did some time for it, and then they let him out, and here he is, he's done it again. We've got to come to a conclusion as a society. Either when somebody does this type of stuff, you lock them up for good, or you give them the death penalty. You have to protect the rest of society. That's why you need police. That's why you need a legal system and a governmental system to make the laws to protect the citizens of the country. This whole idea that the police are the enemy and yada yada is such horseshit. But it's hocus pocus. They can make they're making people believe that. You can look in the comments on things on YouTube where it's one of the left wing. You watch MSNBC and look down the comments. You listen to the crap spewed by MSNBC, and you look in the comments denouncing Trump and all this and get rid of the police and all those types of things. And it's like they're actually getting people to buy into this. Not many, thank God, but they actually have people who buy into this, who think it's somehow some utopian dream they're setting up, and it's just not so. It is really amazing, to me anyway. In this day and age, you can see people defending criminals and these like spokespeople for BLM. You know, in Chicago it's all right for them to steal and loot and everything. Like, it's reparations, it's so they can eat and blah 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 and all this type of stuff. Do these people understand that around the world, how many nations don't have things like welfare? They ever watch National Geographic and see, you know, these villages around the world and stuff, and or even in a little bit more developed countries like, you know, say Vietnam or other places and stuff where, you know, it's peasants living off the land? Do they get a welfare check? Do they get unemployment? Or do they work every single solitary day so that they can survive and eat and feed their families? These people don't want to do that. They want everything handed to them. Every single thing handed to them. And they want no rules. If somebody robs you, hey, that's going to be justified. You heard her justify the looting and the robbing of the stores. What makes you think they're going to stop at somebody assaulting you or your family and robbing you, or home invasions? What makes you think they're not going to justify that too? And if you defend yourself, that in their eyes you're the freaking criminal. Do you understand that? Now, some of you might be delusional and going along with their stuff while thinking, yeah, well, that's you people out there. You people that deserve being robbed. You people that deserve. Justify it. Tell us one reason why we deserve being robbed or assaulted or our homes broken into, or the things we've worked for to be taken away from us. What evil have we done? Go find somebody that can point their finger at me and say I did them wrong, and that I deserve to have everything I've worked for taken away from me. Do that across America. Go. You say, you know, with Obama and his white privilege, and you didn't get that on your own and everything. Well, go find people that we took it from. Go find them. If they can justify that the stuff going on now, imagine what will happen if Biden, who's losing his mind, gets in the office, and the people that, or if there's a big shift in Congress, imagine the tumble down the stairs this country will take and go backwards even more. It's like I've said long before when I started these, it's like this country has gone into the twilight zone. when I got tired of football the other day, I put in World War Z, and it was like, you know what? People in the streets ain't far from these zombies. They just really are not far from the zombies. I don't know if it's the stuff they put in the weed these days, or the fentanyl and the meth mixed together that they're doing, like George Floyd, what it is, but that is their mentality. That is their mentality. Not just for you, for your children, for law enforcement, for everybody. If they're going through the neighborhoods in the middle of the night, a mob screaming and using bullhorns and stuff like that, and don't give a damn that there's probably small children in a lot of those houses who are scared out of their minds because they've seen what goes on TV and the violence and the arson and everything like that. And they're not even concerned about that. So I'll throw in something here, and maybe it'll make you think. If you think the stealing and violence and everything is all right, both the Bible and the Quran say God does not love the aggressors, the violent. That no unjustifiable violence is permitted or accepted. But that if somebody assaults you, you can defend yourself in equal measure. Now, a lot of these people in the streets will say, see, well, that gives us a right to go into the police because the police, killed these people or those people and this and that. Those people were criminals. Those people are doing things that are detrimental to society. It's not like the cops are just going down through the neighborhood and finding somebody and killing them. That would not be acceptable by anybody in this country. Now, the officers have the authority to arrest somebody and then let the courts and the lawyers and hack it out. When you resist arrest and you assault the officers, that's you being the aggressor there. That's you being the aggressor because you don't want to go back to prison. George Floyd did not want to go back to prison. Watch that whole video. He was flipping out long before they ever put him on the ground. And if you ask me, he or his girlfriend or whoever she was were dealing that fentanyl and meth stuff. And instead of getting caught with it and getting possession and distribution charges, he swallowed the crap, if you ask me. That would be my bet. They've never said how much they found in the system, if it was enough to kill him or anything like that yet. But he was clearly flipping out before they ever took him to the ground. So what are you supposed to do with a person like that? Just turn him loose? According to BLM, yeah. Just turn him loose. Just turn everybody loose that the police try and go and arrest. And then when they commit another crime, what then? You let them go then too? So look here, if you take the fact that the Quran and the Bible say God does not love the aggressors and the violent, and you put it with what Jesus, peace be upon him, said, if you love your neighbor, you'll keep the commandments. You will not commit murder, you will not steal, you will not, you can throw rape and everything else in there that even though it's not listed, commit adultery. If you love your neighbor, which means if you respect another human being the same as you respect yourself, and you see that you're both creatures created by God and have that mutual respect with each other, you're not going to do all these things. So when you go in and you're defending criminals who do all these things, who steal, and dealing drugs, you may hey, what's wrong? Well, what's wrong? That's not you're going to, whoever you're selling those drugs to, just like alcohol, like the alcohol producers and stuff, got to come in Judgment Day too. You're making things lawful that God made unlawful because they are detrimental to human beings and society. People do very stupid things when they are drunk. People do very stupid things when they're on drugs. they become violent, they hurt people, or hurt themselves. Plus, it's destroying their bodies and their minds to begin with. So if you look at all these violent people who don't want to go back to prison because they didn't love their neighbor and they broke and entered, or they did this or they did that, all these things, and you put it with, that God does not love the aggressors and the violent and stuff. And we can get into a whole nother discussion about nations going to war and everything too, that are also included in that. But if you just look at what's going on now, and it's like, who are you going to defend? The innocent or the violent people? Seems the BLM is looking to defend the violent people who commit arson, who attack people for wearing a Donald Trump shirt or a hat, who are wanted by the police for committing violent acts and then resist arrest. So the whole hocus pocus thing with their glossed over commercials and the way they change their voices, and when they're giving their, like the athletes are doing their promo, and how much, in the Hollywood people, and how much they care, and how this is about us coming together, and it's about ending racism and all this. Give me a friggin' break. Is racism wrong? Yeah, it says so in the Bible and the Quran also. You know what else? It says you're not supposed to call each other wicked nicknames. Tell that to a lot of the African American community. And the N-word. It's not just wrong for other people to use it. It's wrong for you to use it too. So with or without the police, criminals will get theirs. Because they are being the aggressor. They are being the violent. Instead of them working and producing for themselves, they think just might is right and they're going to take what they want. And they've had it pumped into their heads by the parents and by society that they've been oppressed, and the people who have got what they have by oppressing them. When the people who have went out and worked every single day. Now you can argue, hey, there ain't no jobs here, there, whatever. Well, then you got to get on the politicians and tell them quit letting the jobs go overseas and south of the border. Then you might also have to, hey, move away from there. Go to where there is jobs or are jobs. See people leaving California in the droves because of what's going on there, and you have the politicians out there up and down talking about how these fires are from global warming. And there is absolutely, positively, absolutely no research that they can point to that can positively say this is from global warming. It could be water mismanagement, the way they mismanage the fires. Canada has plenty of forest. So does Mexico. Theirs are not on fire right now. If you look up, I think it was 2011 when they had the last serious batch of forest fires. Sorry. If I remember what Wikipedia said there correctly. You need to wake up. You cannot turn a society on its head and say those who are in authority in law enforcement are evil, and the people who would steal from you, who would assault you, who would hurt you, who have no care for you as a human being are in the correct. That is ass backwards. All right, wish you all the best out there. We'll catch you on the next one. God bless, and hopefully things get better. People start thinking about what the hell they're doing. All right, adios.